Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribers button and give this video a thumbs up. On General Hospital, this was the week everyone had been waiting for. Michael was the one who finally learned Nina's secret. But after that, nothing occurred. Actually, the majority of this week at Port Charles was fairly uneventful. Michael eventually learned that Nina was responsible for turning his mother and Drew over to the SEC, and then kept the information. We were left anticipating the next development as the plot threads changed. After all the anticipation of the wedding and family time, nothing happened. As I said in my column from the previous week, I could see Michael pressuring Nina to leave his father and the area lest he confess what she did. Simply put, it appears that he will not expose her but will instead make use of this information to his benefit. I find it incomprehensible even now that Drew and even Michael would minimize the illegality of insider trading. Michael made a remark about how his mom's minor crime was used and twisted into something bigger than it was by the person who turned her and Drew into the SEC to cause as much harm and pain to his family as possible. Drew mentioned to Carly that the person who turned them in is responsible for his and Carly's suffering. What influence Nina had in getting the SEC to act based on what she knew. Then there is Michael, who spent the previous year planning to put his gangster father in prison before using the prospect of doing so to get Martin to admit Nina was the one who had him call the SEC. Michael seems to be quite similar to Sonny in that he will use intimidation, force, and power to further his goals. When the truth about Michael's plot involving Dex comes to light, I still want to see him put on trial, and I sincerely hope Nina gets the information. Sonny ultimately made the connection that Cyrus was the bad guy who had been after him after Mason was discovered trying to assassinate Ava, and Cyrus was made available for release from Pentonville. He took far too long. It's ridiculous that no one ever considered Cyrus to be the biggest threat to Sonny in Pentonville all along. However, as I noted last week, it appears that this plot had no long-term preparation and was simply made up as it went along. What would have been if they had stayed with the enigmatic female boss from the beginning? Meanwhile, Laura is at home, and Cyrus wants to talk to her. When further information is revealed, and it becomes clear that Cyrus, Austin, and Mason have the very much alive Nicholas all along, things should get interesting. Which raises the question of when Ava will learn that her ex is still alive. I mean, I understand how much she has been through this week, but come on. She did, however, disregard Austin's calls to her. Mason is the next, and he is like a toe fungus that just won't go away. Although Dante would likely be in a lot more trouble for killing an unarmed person if he had shot and killed him. The deception and deceptor storyline began off strong, but just fizzled away, much like Cyrus being the big bad boss. It made excellent use of the veterans, attracted wonderful cameos from classic ABC soaps, and even maintained a nice little mystery about who Tracy was working with and why. To save the business, Lucy gave up 51% of her company and her voting shares in ELQ after giving in to Tracy's pressure. It's over? Then, when Lois confronted Tracy about extorting her daughter out of greed, Tracy admitted that she had actually gone after the firm to give it to Brooke Lynn in the end so that she would have a backup plan besides music. Whoa, what? Why did Tracy assume Brooke Lynn would want to own the business that her friends' friends had stolen? Who among her present friends who were once buddies don't trust her? Although it appears like Maxie will soon forgive Brooke Lynn owing to Felicia's counsel. The enigma surrounding Martin, the deceptor, and his ex-wife Blair also seem to have vanished without a trace. What happened to Blair pressuring Martin into getting married to Lucy or else when the deceptor is once again being marketed? Did the scab writers simply decide to rewrite the conclusions to these narratives after they arrived on the scene, considering that's how it feels? Laura was able to do what Valentin was unable to do, and linked Charlotte's actions to Victor after being informed of what Charlotte had been up to. I'm still not comfortable with this plot line because it seems unlikely that Charlotte would choose what she knows to be true to Victor's lies. More background information and conditioning are required in this situation than just a letter from Grandpa and some tarot cards. In the episode that aired on Friday, Liz revealed to Drew that Jake was dating Charlotte, the most well-liked student. Charlotte revealed to Laura that she didn't have any friends at school. Did the writers not discuss this script with one another? In dealing with Judge Kim, Alexis channeled her inner lawyer, and it appears that she was successful in getting Drew's sentence reduced and assisting in his release. I was really encouraged that Alexis might regain her license because of the discussions she had with Gregory about how much she loved the law and the mention of her disbarment by Judge Kim. Just recently, Alexis' editing style grew stale. Thus, despite Eddie thinking he knew Lois, he hasn't actually recognized her. In his fantasy, she was just a face. However, it appears that is a sign that his memory may ultimately begin to return. But Nina would receive much worse news because he is aware of her SEC tip-off. It makes sense that Sasha would want to move, but we all know she won't. It has been suggested that Cody and Maxie will express their desire for her to stay. Additionally, the move just seems to be the impetus for Cody to finally tell someone other than Dante that Mac is his father. I'd like to see Cody and Sasha develop into more than just friends, coupled with that plot taking center stage right now. This week, Spencer almost had me feel sorry for him since he was being warned that he wasn't Ace's father and that he might not always be as important in Ace's life as he believes he is. Trina and Kevin both drove that into him, but it's obvious he's still in denial. Esm's attraction to Spencer is something Trina has also noticed. Someone is at last noticing it? Sorry, Sprina lovers, but it appears that Spencer might rush toward marriage with Esmond in order to maintain his position in Ace's life. It seemed inevitable that something will happen between them, and that Spencer will soon be forced to make a decision between Ace and Trina. Additionally, it might make Nicola's trip back to Port Charles possible. General Hospital transfers all authority to Michael on the week of October 23. The young gun might just as easily inform Sonny that Nina informed the SEC about Carly, but he chooses not to. According to Soap Opera Digest, he chooses to make use of the explosive information to his advantage. Nina initially makes a feeble effort to conceal that she had Martin report the crime that Carly had actually committed. But after that, adds Cynthia Watrous to the publication. She just looks at him and asks, "What do you want?" Michael's response is not liked by Nina either. His ultimate goal is to keep her as far away from Willow as is humanly possible, and right now it looks like he'll succeed in doing just that. Michael can't get past that rage to really see that Nina is trying really hard, claims Watrous. I don't think he's thinking clearly, she continues. Even if Michael does as he promises and keeps Nina's secret, it does not necessarily imply that she will be safe. Blabbermouth Martin is aware of what she did, and if Eddie eventually realizes that he is actually Ned, he will probably remember that he also understood Nina's involvement in Drew's incarceration. In Watrous' words, she is caught between a rock and a hard place, and I love playing that. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.